Hey everybody, welcome back to Nyanumba Codes. Today we will build a simple REST API using PHP and Laravel, and this year is indeed 2024 and most people don't understand how to go about this. We need you to know that REST APIs are definitely essential in modern web applications, mobile applications, and even microservices. So by the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen, you will know how to create, retrieve, update, and delete data via API endpoints. So let's dive in.
Got a monster inside of me. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean.
First things first, if you guys do not have Laravel installed because for some whatever reason you've come into this video not prepared to learn through Laravel, ladies and gentlemen, go and install your Laravel application as we speak. So I'm going to show you how I go about installing Laravel applications. So let's begin. First of all, install Laravel Herd, all right? And if you don't have Laravel Herd, I will go about it over here. Let me just bring my browser into play. So I'll just go to laravel.com and then I'll go to ecosystem, right? And then I'll go to Herd, okay? So this Laravel Herd is a very crucial tool in software development, beginning or quick starting your software development situation. You can go ahead and click download for Windows, okay? So once you hit download for Windows, it will give you this Herd 1.11.1 setup. That's the version that we are on as at the time of this recording. And then you can go ahead and install. And once you're done installing, it will come up something like this in, well, of course, in dark mode. And yeah, that's how we go about this. So you can put in over here your global version. We're currently on PHP version 8.4. We can continue and proceed with that. And yeah, we move. So in order for me to start coding and start developing, we need to install a Laravel project. So in order to install a Laravel project, we'll start by going into our sites. So over here on dashboard, you come in and go to open sites, all right? And then you come in and say add, okay? When you click on add, this pop-up will come in here and say new Laravel project or link existing project. Normally, I would want to do a new Laravel project, and then I'll hit next. And then I'll go ahead and use Laravel, a fresh Laravel installation without any starter kit. And then I'll hit next. And project name will come in here and call it REST API. Okay. So I'll hit next and then we'll create your project. You can go ahead and grab a cup of coffee as you pause this because your Laravel project is still installing. So I myself, I'm just going to skip to the very end of when the Laravel project is installed. All right, so we're back here. We've gotten our coffee and we are ready to build something amazing. And now we can close this and we can start by, of course, now you can open this in the terminal, right? And then all you just need to hit is, because we have Visual Studio Code installed, I'm just going to come in here and do code dot, and it will open it in Visual Studio Code. All right. So now that we have this ready, we'll need to work with a model, right? So let's create a basic post model, for example, right? First things first, before we proceed on, I think we'll need to do a git init and then git add all, okay? Git commit -m, the beginning of REST API. And then we're good. And the reason why we've done that is because of version control. So the reason why we usually have version control ready on the get-go is because we need to also track our development, and we also need to understand the stages of each and every single part of our development. And then again, of course, I'm going to push this to GitHub so that you guys can be able to get it. So the link will be down in the description below, so you can proceed on and extract it for yourself. We're going to always go ahead and start with a model and a migration. So how we're going to go about that is we're going to do PHP artisan make model. And the model that we're going to create is going to be called post-m. Now you're going to see post, the post model inside our app models over here. And then we're also going to see our migrations add. We're going to have a posts table over here. So I'm just going to come in here, click, press enter for this. And then you can see we have our post model and our post migration over here. Next, we're going to add our fields over here. We have our title, and then we're going to go ahead and then create our content, which is generally supposed to be a text, and then we do content. All right, so those are the two columns that we're going to be creating for our posts. And once that's set, we can now run the migration to create the table. So we'll just come in here and do PHP artisan migrate, and that's it. So our post table will be created. If you look at our database.sqlite, database.sqlite is here, and we have our post table over here, and you can see ID, title, content, created at, and updated at, which are the timestamps. So that's how we go about it. Now, the next thing that we are definitely going to do is creating a controller. And I can see there's an error that's coming up on our terminal over here, which is showing that PHP deprecated, whatnot. And I think that comes with the HUD. And I think I probably need to change the global PHP version to 8.3. When I run that migration, you can see that the error has disappeared. Now we're going to come in here and create a controller. So I'm just going to come in here and do PHP artisan make controller. Then we're going to call this the post controller. And then we're going to do --API. And the reason why we're doing --API is because it will create, or it will fabricate pre-existing controller functions. If we come in here and check HTTP controller, post controller, you can see the functions index, store, show, update, and destroy, which is the pre-fabricated controller functions. And once we have those, we can actually go into our web routes and do other things when it comes to setting up those routes. So there's a very simple way to set up those routes, and we will go through that shortly. But first, we want to populate these controllers functions. So the first thing that I want us to do is to populate the index function with posts. And in order for us to get the posts, we just need to get post all, okay? And then we're going to come in here and return response. And the response will be in JSON format, and we'll return it with the posts. So the JSON format will return the posts. And this post is coming in from the model. So that's how we work that out. When we come to now the store function, the store function now will come in here and do post is equal to post. So we'll come in here and post. Then there's a function over here called create. And then we'll come in here and take the request all, just like that. Provided that the request match the capacity that is going to be declared within the model itself. In the model itself, we've not declared what can be created and what parts of the request can be filled within this particular create function. So in order for us to do that, we're going to come in here and do a protected, and then we call the variable fillable. And in this protected fillable, all we just need to do is create the title. So take the title from the request and also take the content from the request. And once that is done, we can go back to now our controller, and this actually all makes sense. Now all we just need to do is return a response, right? So the response at this point here will be the post itself. All right, so we'll return response, and the response will be in a JSON format, and the JSON format will be now carrying the post, and we'll come and do the 201 status, which 201 means created, right? 200 is a success message, 201 is there's a resource that has been created, which now that this 201 actually works very well with. Now we can actually go ahead and set up our API routes. Now we've done the showing and we've done the storing. So we can now go ahead and create those routes. And to create those routes or routes, whichever English that you prefer to use, I'm going to come in here and do a route colon API, okay, API resource, yeah, and then the name here will be the posts, and in the process, we're just going to come in here and label the controller, of which I will come and do posts controller colon class. So in order for us to actually see if this is working fine, I'm going to go to the terminal and do PHP artisan routes colon list. And you can see we definitely have our posts working. So all we just need to do now is to test them in an API setting. Now that we have everything set up, all I'm just going to come in and do, because we have our route over here inside CRUD, we have our REST API.test over here. So I'm going to open it inside my browser, and my browser is showing it like this. So all I just need to do at this point now is do posts like so, okay? And once I do that, we have our posts working well, okay? So this is just the get method. We don't have the post method and everything, but that was just in the web routes. If we could have done it more ideally, I could have taken this, okay, instead of putting it here, I put it inside our API routes. Now, before we continue and before we proceed, we need to actually make this more API friendly. And for us to do that, I'm just going to make you guys all aware of this various functions. So if I come in and do PHP artisan, I don't know why my terminal started misbehaving there, but anyway, so if I do PHP artisan and we see the functions that are here, we can see at the very top, we have these things called install, there's API and broadcasting. So API over here comes in and installs or creates an API route and installs Laravel Sanctum or Laravel Passport. So for us to continue or proceed on, we have to do that function so that it creates that route. So PHP artisan and then install, then colon API, okay? So once it does that, it will run all of these different things and install Laravel Sanctum in the process. So it asks, one new database migration has been published. Would you like to run all pending database migrations? And the database migration that needs to be published in this situation is this, personal access tokens, all right? So we need to go ahead and say yes, because we are going to definitely use these personal access tokens. And now we have the has API token straight to your user model, which is over here, okay? We can add that here. So please add the Laravel Sanctum has API token straight to your user model. That is a requirement. So I'm just going to come in here and do has API tokens, and we're good to go, which is this particular situation here. All right, so once that is done, once all of that scaffolding is done, if we go back to our routes here, we have this API routes over here, and then we're going to come in here and just add the API resource down there. So instead of actually, and I'm just going to come in here and pull the controller. So instead of actually running with this posts, which won't work anymore, all right, I'm going to just come in here and add API /posts, okay? We're going to have to use a third-party client in order to test the put, the patch, the delete, and also the post functions when it comes to testing APIs. So in order for us to proceed on, we're just going to have to use another client I love to use called Insomnia, okay? So Insomnia is just like Postman, but I think Insomnia is slightly a bit better, if I would say so myself. So I'm just going to log into Insomnia so that we can proceed on. All right, and then we're going to come in here and do a new collection runner. We're just going to go ahead and continue. And then we're going to come in here, create a new collection, okay? So we're going to come here, create request collection, and we're going to call it REST API. So now we have REST API over here. Down here, we're going to create new requests, okay? So we're going to start with a GET request over here. And this request, we're going to just label it as posts. We're going to get posts. We're going to get a new request over here, and then we're going to call it create posts. Okay? So now inside get posts, this one is supposed to be a post request, so I'm just going to come in here and change this. And now the way to change it is actually up here actually. So I'm just going to change that to a post request. And then I'm just going to come in and to my app over here and copy this and then paste it inside here for the get posts. And we have it ready. So if I come in here and click on send, we're going to get our result over here, right? And then when we come in to create posts, we need a body, and our body needs to be in a JSON format. And in our JSON format, we're just going to come in here and set our different values, all right? And the values are 2. So the values are title, and then we'll come in here and say this is a test title. And then we'll come in here and say content. Then we can say one does not simply post content. Once we've done that, I think we're ready to try and test this out. Now I'm going to come here and paste this as well. So this is the same link for the posting, creating the new posts, and we can see that this generally works. So I'm just going to come in here and just say title and content, and then over here we're going to set it up like that. So if I click here send, this is the result. If I click here on the posts, if the post is the result, then it has worked. So I'm just going to come in here, and then you can see the post is there. So if I come in here and click on post again, the result is there. We have our posts right there. So if I come in here and content number 2, and then you can come here and say the content has force, may it be with you. Right. And now if I come in here and click on this again, we have it, content number 2, the content has force, may it be with you. And we can come here and when we click on send, we have this first one and the second one, right? Now, in order to handle these other requests, right, the update and the delete, okay, we're just going to go back now into our API, okay, our REST API, and we're going to come into our post controller and we'll start populating these other different values, all right? So like, let's say, for example, the show, okay, instead of now doing all this, we'll just come and copy this in what's in the index. We'll paste it here, and then we'll just make this singular first. Post is equal to post. Then we'll say find, okay, and then we'll pass in the ID. We'll pass in the ID, and then return response will be this data, okay, which is one post. Now, when it comes to updating, is when we'll now take in the request and the ID and actually update everything that is required. So we'll come in and say, okay, maybe say the post, and I'm just going to come in here and copy this because that's exactly what we're going to be using here, and we're also going to be using that inside the destroy function, right? So once we come in here into post find ID, we'll come and say in the update, so post. So we'll just start with the title is equal to request title. And then we'll do the same with the content. And then we'll come in here and now declare that this one is working. So what we just need to do is update. And it's a function. And then we'll just come in here and now return the response to the post. So once we return the post to the response has to be 200. And that works, definitely works, okay? Now, after that, actually even the status doesn't really need to be there. By default, it's 200. Then we have our post destroy. Of course, now at this point, we will have to return that post as a response. Now, in between, all I just need to come in here and just do is a post delete. So once that has been done, we can proceed on to actually test it with the API. So now we'll come in here and create a new request. So this new request will be retrieve one post. So that is showing one. Then we'll have another HTTP request over here, which will be update post. And then we'll come in here and also create another one, and we'll delete post. All this is for retrieving, so it's a GET request. The update request is supposed to be a PUT request. And then over here we have a delete, which is here, okay? So in terms of now the delete post, we're going to come in here and paste our route over here, API post, and then we're going to do :1 so that we delete the first post. And then over here, update one post, we're going to do the same. We're going to update post 1. And then over here in retrieving the post, we're going to retrieve post 1 as well. Okay. So now once we've done that, we can come in here and retrieve post 1, which is there. Okay. We can come in here and update post 1, of which we have to edit it with the body. So we'll come in here and body JSON. All right. And then we'll say edited post 1. So once we say edited post 1, the content as first may be with you. So if we go back to our posts first of all, right, and refresh, this is post number 1. But if we come in here and update post number 1 and then send the request, it will send it, and as edited post 1, the content has like that. So now when we come back to our posts over here and then we send again, we will see that this has been edited, right? Now when we come to delete and then we send at post number 1, because we don't really need anything in the body, we'll just click send and it will send back this. So if we click send again, because now it's already deleted, then there's no way that we can have this popping up again. So if I click send, there'll be an error. So as you can see, it's taken some time, so request is cancelled. So if we come back here into posts, only content number 2 will be showing, as you can see. Then when you come here into retrieving the posts, you can definitely see that we can't retrieve post number 1. As you can see, it's empty. And then when you come here into update post number 1, we click on that and then there's a problem. All right. The reason why there's a problem is because post number 1 does not exist anymore. And now because we've already deleted it. So that's our REST API in action. And it has definitely worked from top to bottom. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a fully functional REST API built in Laravel in 2024. If you found this very helpful, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell for more Laravel and PHP tutorials. Comment below if you have any more suggestions for future videos. And thanks, definitely, many thanks for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. So please do indeed take care. And ladies and gentlemen, may God bless.